I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Buzz with me. Guys!
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Great podcast if you're not listening to it. Guys, hi. We're the Gordons. Welcome to Top Chef Season 17. This is the after show. This is an all-star season. This is episode 10. Can you believe we've made it?
No, it's like a marker for how long we've been in quarantine.
Yeah, it's not that we've made it to the end of the season. It's that we've made it to 10 weeks.
We're shocked that we're in double digits of weeks of quarantine.
We're alive. Yeah, we've hit double digits. Guys, here's the deal. This is Dave. He has no idea that I just ordered pro-level haircutting scissors for him from Amazon, and he's going to wake up tomorrow a new man, a Mohawk man. Dave Gordon.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it in the night. You're gonna dream of snip, 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 and you're not gonna know why.
That's frightening for a few reasons.
And there's gonna be hair all over the pillow.
A nice bed of my lush hair.
I'm gonna vacuum it.
Great. Can't wait. And this is Anne. And
hi.
Little tidbit: if you include those, little previews and recaps that they do at the beginning and end of every episode,
yes,
you have actually appeared in more episodes this season than some of the actual contestants. Mustache Joe, I'm looking at you.
Oh, it's a sick burn, but it's a burn in which I benefit. It's true. Sorry, a little hair flutter. Yes, it's true. I got to be in an episode, but also the coming up and the recap.
Little bookends.
Take my shots where I can get them. Guys, let's get into the beverages. Let's get into the rundown of what is to come on today's show. This is episode 10, as we said, takes us to faraway exotic Japan by way of the LA Coliseum. Thank you. After a quick fire that is a sweet trip for some of the chefs and it gives others a little bit of a toothache, our chef contestants face one of their most grueling challenges yet, cooking tiny portions for giant athletes. Just kidding, the athletes are normal size, but the portions are still very tiny. We find out creating a perfect, precise 6-course Japanese meal is not for the faint of heart, even if you are a power lifter. Buckle up for an episode that causes one judge to pick something out of their teeth while saying, "What the shell?" and then sends one other judge home for ducking it up. Again, looking at you, Karen.
Yuck.
This is Top Chef. Did you love that? Thank you.
Yes, I did.
This is Top Chef. The after show. You might notice our thin glasses tonight because
we're celebrating this week.
We're celebrating. Side plug, watch Labor of Love, my reality show. Thank you. It's on Fox. So Dave got us for the premiere last night a really cute basket of like bougie hipster food things and a yummy sparkling sauvage, which is also a Top Chef reference.
It is indeed, and this is from our favorite little bougie hipster market. It's called the Milk Farm. So support local, especially in these trying times.
Oh yes, okay. We've got our fans already here for the chat. Fans, we love you. Please tell us all things. Yeah, obviously this was filmed before the Olympics. Is a bummer. Mostly huge bummer because the winner of this week's challenge gets 2 tickets to Japan. Womp. Do you think they'll maybe just still give them the tickets to Japan?
To use it another time?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Hopefully.
Is Bravo nice? I don't know.
I'm not allowed to comment. Yes,
this may or may not have been mentioned, but it was also especially sad for me because in addition to Top Chef being a huge passion of mine, the Olympics are really
Dave has an
encyclopedic
knowledge of the Olympics.
They're just so good.
He literally knows every event, most of the countries that have won for basically every year, and a ton of the Olympians, in so much that when we started dating, it was coming into the Olympics. Oh, it was Summer Olympics. No, it was the Winter Olympics.
It was the Winter Olympics.
And he said, we hadn't been dating that long, and he goes, I need to tell you something. And I was like, oh my God, you've been married before, you have babies stashed away, you're a murderer. And he was like, I love the Olympics. And I'm like,
just like the Olympics.
He's like, no, I really love the Olympics. Meaning, do not call me or come over or talk at me unless you're there to watch the Olympics for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't as if I was.
I brought an America-themed cake.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go crazy. I didn't watch like the side coverage on like CNBC.
The point is, can you subscribe to our YouTube channel? Even though there's only 3 episodes left, you might never get rid of us. We might have gotten a taste for this, and we're going to do this all the time with other shows. Just saying. Also, listen to us, podcast, subscribe, watch, like, follow me on Twitter, Annabelle Walls on Twitter. My Instagram is private because it's kids pictures. You don't need to see
kids stuff. You don't need it.
Taste of the episode. Oh, sorry. But speaking of competition, even though we don't have the Olympics, we do have, now that we don't know what's going on in the show in terms of, I was in an episode last week, so I knew who was still there. And this is the first episode we get to watch where we don't know who's going home and for the rest of the season. We have a couple special guests today. One of them is a couple who we like to do fantasy Top Chef leagues with, who you might recognize from an earlier episode, who themselves are reality pros. So we're going to talk our own competition.
They were nice enough to sit it out for 9 weeks while we
floated
in our free.
And they're in New York, so they're nice enough to be awake late for us. And then our other guests we're going to bring on at the end of the episode are our Last Chance Kitchen correspondents, because we have a lot to talk about for Last Chance Kitchen.
Almost more than the episode itself.
We have so much to talk about that we got to really just fly through the quick fire. Which,
we're not going to be here for 2 hours.
Well, I don't think Brianna would like that very much, but she's our producer. She's fantastic. I told her she can talk, but she doesn't want to. You guys, this episode's called Colossal Coliseum Kaisaki. I would have edited that title, but that's fine.
I love it.
What kind of dish does this episode remind you of, and why? Mine's not that good, so I'll just go first. I just said a rotating sushi bar at the airport where it's just going around because it's challenging to get something that's really good. And I feel like it was challenging for these chefs to master Japanese cuisine in a day. Please.
This one might be a bit of a stretch.
Yours is good. Yours is good.
This was like, again, I've never actually sold on a dish, but this was like taking a cooking class with an expert.
Okay.
They explain everything. They give you all the tools that you need, and then you recreate it, and it's pretty good. And you're happy with the work that you've done, but you haven't spent your entire life mastering these skills. This is you're going out there for one time and trying your best and hoping for the best. These contestants don't do this type of work.
Dave has a larger issue with this challenge, which we'll get into with our guests too. Not making you stop now.
Yeah, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And they tried their best.
He kills in cooking shows. Nope. Cooking classes. He kills in cooking shows. In cooking classes, he literally becomes teacher's pet, and it's the best thing you've ever seen. It is so, he's like, I'll volunteer. It's the best thing you've ever seen. Okay, very quickly, top of the show, we get the ladies pump up time. Stephanie and Melissa, very clearly positioned as the comeback kids. Melissa is way down on herself in a scary way that we as Melissa fans do not like because of Restaurant Wars and her not great week last week. Stephanie lives in a zone called down on herself, but she gets a really good character moment. She's clearly set up to have a big,
if nothing
arc
else.
this episode. We get to hear about her brother. It's just like, it was gnarly. It was really well done character moment for her. It truly was.
I agree.
I always have liked her.
Yeah, I mean, this episode is her shining moment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And she is quite likable.
She's so likable.
Yeah, a little nerdy maybe.
Yeah, like she's just kind of an odd duck in a good way.
Yeah.
Not to Karen. Karen doesn't like duck because she messed it up. Haha. Guys, quick fire. I don't even understand how they got into the setup. Like, I think I missed the actual setup because there's 2 children running around screaming, but they're making desserts. They have pastry chef Sherry Yard, not Mary Berry, which was very exciting for a second, but no, Sherry Yard. And they're making pastry using the ingredients that you correctly identified from a smell test. They always do the smell test. I feel like this is like not a whatever quick fire, but like it's a trope. They've done this before.
Yeah, well,
which is fine.
Yeah, I
Maybe
like,
not for dessert.
I'm always baffled by how few ingredients these chefs get.
But we always talk about this. They literally smoke and burn their tongues.
We find that chefs can barely, many of them, not all, most of them probably can, but many chefs can't really taste that well. How is it? How is it that they're as good as they are? It's just something that always impresses me in a good way. All the same. These were the all-stars, and so they did do much. Even the worst of them did better as a group than other groups in previous seasons.
To our viewers, all 5 of you, how many do you think, if you had 20 ingredients to smell, most of them sweet, but they really messed with them with the prosciutto, how many do you think you would smell correctly? How many do you think you would smell correctly? You're pretty good at this.
I think I would.
Sorry, smell and taste. It was a taste test.
Yeah, I think I would be really good, but I
tasted. Yeah.
Yeah, they tasted. I think I would be really good, but at the same time,
you'd be good. Unless it was vegetarian
we're not used to
meat.
eating that way, and we find that things that you can identify all of a sudden you can't really do.
Just like pretending.
But I do think that I would with many of those
I think
things,
you would get in the teens for sure.
I think I would have done pretty well.
Yeah, me too, because of smell.
Yeah.
But also then meat. But that's the whole thing. Okay, guys, here we go. Most ingredients guessed correctly. Our girl Stephanie, 15 out of we think 20.
Out of 20, yeah.
Pretty impressive.
75%. That's good, and there are some obscure ones in there for sure.
Least amount smelled correctly.
Are you surprised?
The Larks, who thinks because he was on a show called The Taste, that I know that they've edited out 15 other times he talked about being on The Taste. I'm 100% positive. But for this one, they're like, you know what? Just let him have the mention of The Taste. He's mentioned it at least 3 times on camera. He thinks he should be good at it. He's not. And then you use the ingredients to make a pastry from the blind sniff test, which is how I identify what t-shirts to put on in the morning.
So the better you did, the more time you got to bake or cook, and the
Yep.
more ingredients you got to use, because you got to use the ingredients you correctly did.
So the people that had the most time were Greg and Steph, and they made coconut curd fancy thing and peach galette delicious. Give that to me. People in the middle was an olive oil pistachio cake from our girl Melissa, and lychee curd situation from Voltaggio. Fancy. Too much stuff, little crumbies. And then the people who had the least time was Karen with a coconut panna cotta and Bish. They only had a half hour. And then a wood-fired cake from the Malarks.
Which I knew was going to be good. Because how would it not be?
Just, yeah,
so
fair.
Simple, so easy.
It was very hard to see on camera, the cake. But bottom, Karen and Voltaggio, what are these crumbies? Why are they touching? What's happening? Top, Malarks and Melissa. Who won?
Melissa won.
Because olive oil cake is delicious.
And
our
whole
was
family
determined. Oh yeah.
Our whole family was saying
all 4 parties. Even the 1-year-old was like,
Yeah, we love a good olive oil cake. We love a good pistachio. That was just right in our wheelhouse.
Right in our wheelhouse. Let's talk about what she won, because this gets us right into the elimination challenge. What did she win?
She won a few things.
Yeah.
One.
Pride.
Well, the challenge was to create a 6-course progressive Japanese Olympic meal. And so by winning, she was not only able to choose her course within the meal, but assign the remaining courses to the other contestants.
Nar. Since we're entering the Thunderdome, this is a good time to bring on our personal friends, and yet in our fantasy league, our nemesis, our friends Katie and Alden, but our nemesis, our fremesis, because we have a wicked Top Chef fantasy league going. For how many years have we done this for? A lot. 5 plus?
Yeah, we took a break.
There's been breaks
to have children.
We move cross country, but
mostly
you can't
the
stop
ladies.
us. The ladies. Country. We birthed the children,
but there's been quite a few of these.
We're there for support.
and we discussed this last time you guys were on. We have welcome by the way. We have done it various ways. So this is definitely our most interesting way of doing it, because never have one of the 4 of us, talking about me, been on the show. So we've never had to start mid-season. So never before have we truly had this much information. Very unusual
circumstance.
Did we do the other All-Stars? That's what I was trying to think. Did we do the other All-Stars as a fan, like where we knew about the chefs before?
I don't think so. I think we've only done regular season before.
The last time we did this, we were both pregnant, and I made you take me to Soho House because I was like, you can't have your baby before I get my prize dinner.
We couldn't even drink.
Memory.
We couldn't even drink. What are you guys drinking now?
This is why our daughter is so smart.
She is. That Sloaney Baloney is like elephant memory, the way that Goldie is too.
Yeah,
they both are.
It fools me like daily and makes me feel very stupid.
This is Lillet and soda on ice. That's a classy bitch.
And
that's very chef. That's a chef drink. What is yours, Alden?
4 roses on ice and nothing.
You said horchata. I was very confused.
Our next guest also like 4 roses.
There's a bunch of
through line.
You guys like stuff. Okay, so let's talk about this. I do want to talk about the fantasy draft first, and then that will play into obviously how we rooted for the elimination challenge, because Dave had to keep reminding me that I was rooting for the wrong person.
Yeah, it really changed our rooting interest.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
So we did a snake draft. Will you explain how we draft?
Sure. Well, there was only 6 chefs remaining.
But we knew that someone was coming back from the Last Chance Kitchen, which we had to sort of like.
Right. Decide whether or not they were going to play into it. I think we decided to keep them out of the mix.
Right.
Let's just go with the 6 who are remaining. We each get 3 picks. In order to keep things as fair as possible and on as even footing as possible, one team got the 1st, 4th, and 5th picks. The other team got the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th picks. That means that the average draft value of each pick is as close as mathematically possible.
This is Dave's job, literally.
Otherwise, you would have.
Yeah, like you're a statistician.
Yeah, when he says these things, I just go yum.
Otherwise, it would be much less.
No, I do understand. And we've done this before. So we had a very official FaceTime or a Zoom or whatever we did while we were walking around draft yesterday.
We were taking Pocahontas
y'all
to the
just
river.
chucked a quarter on the floor, and it worked out, not in our favor, but in our favor because it's like
worked out well.
It's fine. So what happened? Who did you pick? You got first pick. First pick of these cream of the crop. Who'd you pick?
Well, we let you have first pick.
They won the
Sorry, you won the coin toss and you decided
Right.
you.
And I knew. So wait.
third.
I wanted to give you first pick because I knew who you were gonna pick.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
Yes,
did.
we did.
Yes, I did.
Get in
And
here.
you wanted the extra chef.
And I wanted the extra at the end.
Nightmare.
Well, I have some interesting comments.
Yeah, which now I regret. And maybe it's all gone downhill.
What happens when you gamble, everyone? Okay, so you're right. We picked first, and we picked exactly who you thought we were going to pick.
Yeah, exactly. We knew. We knew who the top choice was.
It was a Sophie's Choice over here.
Like,
it wasn't
Gregory, and I will tell you,
we labored over that.
We were literally in discussions for quite a bit about who we would take with our first pick.
Yeah.
If we had said choice, and we were 50-50 on Gregory and Melissa. And
I'm ride or die Melissa.
Yeah, we're like Melissa all the way.
Yeah.
The tiebreaker was in a final, if they literally created like an exactly perfect even meal, I just think that Gregory would get the edge just based on I think he's endeared himself a little bit more to the judges.
Melissa's the only chef that's gotten the Michelin star.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. Katie, that is exactly what I said to him. I said, not one other chef has gotten 2 times them say this is a Michelin dish. Look, trust me. It was not Sophie's Choice because they're named Sophie. It was really hard and ridiculous because it was and we knew obviously the way the whole draft went, we all were tier 1 is these 2, tier 2 is these 2.
Yeah.
It was going to be that anyway. We're all formidable fantasy league players here.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you chose Melissa, we would have gone Gregory immediately. And so then next tier was Karen and Beltagio.
Yeah. So what was your decision making process there? So you guys picked Karen.
Okay, so we have a soft spot for Karen because of her passion and pink hair.
Also, she had been eliminated, come back with that fire.
Agreed.
We thought there was going to be something under her tush to keep her going.
The fear factor of being eliminated again.
Yeah, she has that
drives them.
Attitude.
A lot of people who have come back from being eliminated end up winning. So
yeah, there's a strong history of coming back and winning.
I wish I had the stats on that because it is true.
It's happening.
Riding that wave of fear, essentially.
See what?
Riding that wave of fear of being, you know what, this is how I messed up. I'm gonna correct and come straight this time.
Yeah. So. I think that was. I mean, there was no wrong picks. It was just literally which 2 of the 4 best do we all want?
Right.
And
which of the
honestly, Beltagio is an amazing chef, but he gets in his head too much. He overthinks things sometimes, it seems like. So,
Here. So we got Beltagio, and then of the bottom 2, don't mean to gloat, but had a great week. I mean,
it was a great time for her to have her shining moment.
She was either going to do great this week, Stephanie, we're talking about.
Yes.
Or she was going to be packing the bags. That was just
she wakes up every day saying, I don't know what happened. How did it become Tuesday? What am I going to cook today?
I mean, yes.
And Malarkey just sells his food.
Yes,
he does.
He talks about selling his food before he's cooking his food. So
correct.
Following one of the more recent episodes, when they did the preview, they did for the rest of the season, and they had that fight of him, or Padma saying to him, do you want to go home?
Yeah.
And he looks like he's about to say yes. Obviously, it could very well be a misdirect. But I said to myself, I'm choosing between the 2 of them. I actually think Malarkey is maybe, if not better, a more consistent chef, better chance of getting points with him.
Definitely, yeah.
But I said, well, but I don't know what episode that is. And for all I know, he just volunteers to go home next week.
And here's a question for you as seasoned reality TV show creators. How much of someone who's just such a good talking head of him do you then kind of want to keep around as long as possible? Obviously, producers don't affect the actual outcome of who's
but there is a fight in the room sometimes because you want to keep that talking head, like sound bites, sell those promos, sell those teases.
Right.
And you can't teach that. People are good at it or they're not. Truly, you can produce.
You can coach it over a season, but it takes some time.
Yeah.
Well, also, I don't know. It might be like a mislead because Malarkey doesn't seem like somebody.
No, it's a complete mislead because
they wouldn't show that.
Flap at the end of that shot. Like there's 3 frames of that where he's about to say something. Like there's something coming here.
We've also seen evidence of him not being too shy about trying to throw somebody under the bus.
That's true. Also, doesn't he just want to go to Italy and wear all his weird hats?
Oh, completely.
So to just give up. Yeah, to just give up randomly, be like, oh, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm out.
He has fire in a different way.
Yeah, but my takeaway all the same was that he doesn't actually say that he's going to resign himself from the show, but he's going to lose anyway that week.
Oh, you think that was like a loser speech?
Yeah, I think it was like he's getting sent home anyway. That was my take. Because that would make a good TV.
Let's talk about what they did this week. Guys, what we usually like to do is we say, are you in or are you out on the challenge? Let's quickly you talked about the challenge, but just to really recap, Naka is this amazing female chef sushi restaurant here that I've still never been to, and I've lived here for 112 years because you literally can never get a table because there's, I think,
it's probably 10 seats.
8 or 10 tables.
Seats, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane, but like
it's like 2-star Michelin, so in 8 seats or 10 seats.
I want to say it's on the west side of town. Yeah. So Nikki and Carol are not effing around. Let's put it that way. When you're talking about precision cuts and shell bits. So it was basically, how do you do this 6-course progressive Japanese thing where everyone does a dish? And it's a tasting menu. But I want to talk about what you think about that challenge, and then I want to get into what Melissa did and how she assigned how did she assign these places? Because there's some. She's not dumb, your player. She's not dumb. Much like our player was not.
I thought it was a very smart challenge because everything, it was all about paring down, simplification, which, this whole run is all about standing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, simple is more was a big part of this challenge, which a lot of these chefs sometimes can, it can be a big hurdle.
Yeah.
Well, you cover your mistakes with layering the flavors or flavors, or adding another ingredient. So when you can't,
nothing to hide behind.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. So this is
Dave has a take on this.
I have an alternative take, although I like this take, and I hadn't thought about it that way. I was thinking about the idea that part of being a chef, I like the idea about in being a chef that you can cover your mistakes. Like that's attractive to me, and it makes cooking more accessible, and it makes it more fun, and it makes your end product's going to be better because you can pivot, you can fix things, you can make them better. But I do like the idea of that.
This is not the like final challenge. This is sort of a next, like, can you prepare something that is super simple and execute it at the same level?
If someone who's going to bust your balls if you don't.
But the ironic part is, in doing that, these people have literally trained their entire lives and mastered very, very specific skills that even the best chefs in the world have no shot at.
So Dave felt like it was unfair.
So I think it's
an unfair kind of like hurdle to throw.
Such a steep, like
it was definitely a weeding out.
Yes,
I think it was much more difficult. Than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. So I feel like every season there are a couple of these that come around the 6 or 5 people mark before we get too deep into the finals, where I like to call them chainsaw challenges because they're just like in the horror movie where the big chainsaw goes across everyone and some people duck and some people don't, and it completely just reorders the lineup as we saw. That's what happened. Like our 2 tops were in the bottom.
Yeah. Right. No. I think as an overall challenge, this was designed to have more failures than successes.
Yes.
But I will add just one additional point, which is normally
and they're all stars. You can remember that
normally when they throw those challenges at people, at least everyone's on equal footing because they still have the same. Well, yeah, but they still have the same difficult, unfair challenge. Here, they were all assigned very different things, and so some had it.
Don't you think it was equally difficult?
An additionally more challenging thing.
What was the
but it was also a very niche sort of
right. They hadn't done this
because they had to follow a progressive menu that a lot of these chefs have spent their whole careers trying to establish this progressive menu, and then these chefs are like, do this.
Yeah, but some people threw it out the window. Like Gregory pretended like he was following this rule, and then like he
in large part
well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you think that they played fair in terms of did they work together cohesively? They didn't get dinged for not.
No, at the end of the day,
it would have been too comcomplicated story-wise to do so. Right. I think that could have been in the mix in story meetings and then just thrown out. It would have been too convoluted.
You're saying thrown out in the edit, like it might have actually been talked about.
Yeah.
Just too hard to keep up.
Do you feel like that happens in shows too, like this, where you would have, as when you're on set producing, you would want to talk about, you would encourage all these kind of different avenues, knowing you're probably not going to keep all of them?
Yeah, you have to, because you don't necessarily know where it's going to fall out. And so you have to cover all of your bases. And it could have been something that was talked about at the judges table as well. But then what are you really going to focus on? And like, what is someone going to get sent home for? And so then you have to follow like the level of the cook. And
when you're putting the show together and edit, do you sometimes work backwards then from?
Yes, completely.
Yes, totally.
You do, right? You're like, here's what actually happened, and now we're going to work back.
Yeah.
That's one of the most common ways to work in edit, because you have to boil it down to like the most true concept.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you know what the end result is, but you have
Right.
to build towards that. You can't do it the other way.
Right. So Stephanie
Right.
wins, and you're like, okay, let's build her a hero's journey in reverse.
Right.
This is where she gets her character.
But also not making it like
Too over.
she's going to win.
Right.
Although Karen's lines were a bit heavy-handed throughout, so
Yeah.
Oh, the powerlifting montage? Is that what you're talking about?
That
I mean, that was amazing, actually.
I mean, that was amazing. And again, that was not from this episode. That was from whenever they did it. Like that was not the morning of the Japanese challenge. She was not out there beasting it out. That could have been whatever, but that's where you save those gems. And you literally put them on a note card and go, okay, the one where she goes home, we're gonna put this at the top.
We're gonna save that for the Olympian episode. You're gonna power lift. Why?
She's like showed up at the table. She's a beast.
But this was the episode that everyone got a haircut. That was really nice. You know, like
She noticed everybody got
every three episodes you get like a trim or like a fade. And so this was
that actually
got it right.
well, no, I was gonna say it plays in the Last Chance Kitchen. In Last Chance Kitchen, there was definitely a time jump because she has a very bright, new, fresh pink. So there was some day break.
It was a fresh coat.
Shooting the actual episode in Last Chance Kitchen. It was a fresh coat. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about what they actually made. This was really quick. They go to the Coliseum, they start cooking. We like to do a little thing called the whiskiest move of each episode, meaning like what does someone do that's crazy? To me, this episode's whiskiest move was Padma's new bangs. What were those?
I thought they were very much.
I mean, she was like, we both commented on her hair during the quick fire. I'm like, damn.
I mean, she was Barbarella.
Oh, her hair was me too. I'm doing a Padma homage called My Hair Was in French Braids All Day, and now I just let it out.
You're a mermaid.
Thanks. Okay, so let's talk about the dishes. Let's do nom or not. This is going to be interesting.
No, I think there's two clear dishes that I would have really wanted.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I skipped ahead. Wait, sorry. We're going backwards real quick. Melissa gets to pick who does what dish. And I felt this was, besides Gregory's total shock draft of his Restaurant Wars team, to me,
turned out to be brilliant.
I felt like this was very telling. How she picked whose dish was what. And by that I mean, and this is just me reading into things I like to do, she gave Voltaggio the appetizer. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was he's gonna kill an appetizer. That's literally what he makes, is amuse-bouche cruise food.
Right.
So like she likes him, fine, right? She gives Malarkey the soup. Why? Maybe just
because he's bold flavors, and they said that you had to be subtle throughout.
Yeah.
Boom. She gives Karen flame grilled. I think that was just like an equal solid. Like you seem like you can do stuff with fire.
Yeah, but just going.
So
I think, but going back to the conversation about like trying to master something like that, she actually got the hardest dish of all.
Karen,
because hers was the simplest.
For sure.
And like those little chicken skewers that they do in Japan.
She had to cook something in a way that she's not used. That any of them are used to cooking.
So
and she chose the least high behind. She got screwed the most.
But that brings me to what I think is. Well, one, she picked steam because she knew she had her mom's pudding. She knew she had that pudding in the bag. So like, obviously she starts with there and everything falls out from that. To me, she totally boned Gregory with the rice thing on purpose. You pick the strongest person and you give them what you think is the hardest for them. Right.
Right.
And like, I guess she could have really boned Gregory if she gave him the grill one. That would
have nailed it. He's very good at grilling.
Doesn't he? Oh, he's
a great griller. But to be clear, if Gregory lost this week, we would not all be here right now.
Oh,
I would have thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
He said, if Gregory got out for rice, I'm going to not do the podcast and video show anymore, and I'm going to not watch the show anymore, which happens at least once a season where we hit a point where he says, if this happens, I will not do this anymore.
I've quit fast.
I'm never going to watch the show again.
Yeah, which is hilarious because you've never threatened their marriage ever.
No.
I thought you were going to say, if Gregory is out, I will cut off my man bun.
Oh, that's fun.
Well,
he has a man bun.
I don't think your daughter would enjoy it.
Look at how it beautifully fans up like this.
I don't know if you heard our intro.
I used to have a beard, and the second I shaved it off, my daughter.
Oh no, what's happening? What happened? Your daughter what?
Very.
Oh no. Come back.
I was just saying that. Oh.
Say it again.
I'll say it again. I used to have a beard and I shaved it off, and my daughter freaked out. So don't cut off the man bun. Don't do it.
I've never seen, you guys know this, his face without a beard. I've never seen his top lip. He might not have one.
I took it pretty low this last time.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm moving us forward. And then she gave Stephanie the dessert. I don't think that was a fuck you. Like, I think.
No, if anything, like
she was given a
you have the most leeway with the dessert, I feel like.
Our number one fan said he would have gone with beef over duck. I do think I think duck was an ambitious choice when you don't know how
No,
to do it.
I 100%. I think duck was the worst. I mean, aside from
How did
her,
she
Gotta
pick it?
get
Did she
that
think it
skin
was
right, and she didn't know
Japanese?
where she was going to be cooking.
I think so.
I mean, choosing something that's already hard to cook in
Duck hard to
any
cook
circumstance
because it's
on this show,
yeah.
like people have gone down for duck over and over and over again, and to pick it to cook it in a way you've never cooked before
Yeah.
is
She's
like
making gnocchi,
choose-
Karen.
yeah,
That's true.
Japanese.
She screwed herself a bit there too.
yeah. She
She
chose
did,
a
but then
very
she
temperamental meat to cook. Like it could have gone either way very, very easily, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think her downfall was choosing something to cook
too
that was gonna
ambitious
be
with the technique. That's
even
supposed
harder for her to deal with in
Like
an
she couldn't have
environment
done
that she didn't
chicken, I don't believe
understand
that.
to begin with.
Does chicken fly in Japanese cuisine?
Yeah, the
Oh,
yakitori. That's what we're saying.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yakitori.
spent 40
Yeah, she
years
should have played
learning
it
how to
safe.
do that.
Yeah, she could have done a
got it.
chicken, a beef. She could have done a fish. Duck
done
is just like,
Very temperamental.
yeah. Also,
So
people like
You got to get that skin
So
right.
let's
on
run
that.
through then what we touched on some, but let's run through. So Brian V with the app did scallop, avocado, tomato, dashi, caviar. Yeah, give me that. Like
Yeah.
that. Looks
Yeah,
That sounded
delicious.
great.
I mean, that was also
That was
like
like, Here's
he.
the bag. Put
There
it
was
in.
no way he wasn't gonna nail that. That's just sort of his.
He's great with
Right.
knife work. He has great
Yeah.
technique. He's great precision. He sweats everywhere and
This
mops
was
it up.
elevated cruise food. He nailed it.
They loved it. The judges loved it. It was obviously the judges were a bunch of Olympians who Dave knew them all, and then what's her name? Who's I name I forget from Food and Wine, who I love, and then the knockouts who were like, we're gonna tell you what's actually like. They would
Yeah.
let everyone talk first and be like, so
No,
here's
this is what the deal is.
Like,
You often with the athletes because they bring this happens quite a bit.
the athletes are
They bring on
amazing.
the athletes and they've never tasted anything like
They're
this
like, what
before,
is
and
this
it
soup
just-
that you pour into
it
this
just
thing?
blows
I
their
was gonna
mind.
say, I was like, oh, baby.
I love them all. I know. They're
Always
like,
like
this one
Kelly
was hot and
Clarkson, too.
smushy. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. They were the voice of the people, and then Snob City was like, I mean, it's not snobby to say you got a shell. That sucks.
Slash, you're the judge of a food show. You're supposed to judge the food.
Oh no, I meant the knockouts, but yes.
Well, yeah, they
Uh,
were.
Malark said the soup, dashi, celery root, squash, and spot prawn. Can't speak. I would eat that. Restraint is not his strong suit. It looked good. The technique was off. Temperature was off.
Right.
All off.
I was actually kind of impressed that he was able to tone himself down.
I agree.
I also wanted to know how, if he didn't cut the shrimp right, like what is the right way to cut shrimp? Because now I want to do it.
I don't think it was the shrimp they were calling. It was like
It was
the vegetables.
Yeah,
The
this-
vegetables.
The vegetables.
The
The
vegetables.
vegetables.
We're just a bunch of grown-ups drinking liquids, trying to have a nice time. Okay, the kids are asleep. Knock wood.
It's almost 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Give us some
You
patience.
guys, I know. You guys, thank you. Melissa, I would say our girl, but she's your girl. But this is why I was getting stressed and Dave kept reminding me,
Yeah, it's
chill
like
out.
if she goes home, this is great.
I
I mean, I think she made an ambitious choice, but also something that she's
Comfortable with.
comfortable
Yeah.
with, but also
Yeah.
not comfortable cooking in a large setting. So she,
Right.
it was.
Well, everyone has their caveats when they're cooking. They're like, I love making this dish, but I've never done it for 13 people. It's
I've
like,
done it for me and my mom.
Well, so what do you think of the F up with the crab? It was then revealed later that Padma also had crab.
Yeah,
and
she
she
held
was
back
keeping
'cause
that
she
to
loves
herself
Melissa.
until the very end.
Oh, really?
Like he was safe.
She had the
did
shell.
Then say, yeah.
So Melissa is very detail oriented. Is this just inevitable that there's just you cook with crab, there's going to be crab shell? Or was she not?
On a competition.
I mean, I think it's a rush job because it is very likely, but if
Right.
you have the time
Yeah,
to pick
she-
the crab, I mean, I gotta tell you, I make, and this is not for you, but I make, some soups with some neck bones, and I have to make sure my kids don't choke on a neck bone. You
I
don't.
know what you're saying.
I have to show her what a neck bone looks like, and I say, you put this in your mouth and you take it out. You can't have the neck bone.
Life
choking
in the
you.
Deutsch Mackie house is
It sounds
every woman
both-
for
It
themselves.
sounds
and
both
also all of it.
delicious and very exciting and also nerve-wracking.
Oh, sorry.
We are all CPR certified in this house.
I mean, don't call Child Protective Services on me, but like you have to be really careful.
I mean, fair. I skipped over Karen because it made me sad for you guys. Tea smoked grilled duck with roasted and fresh grapes, and then the tea because the grill wasn't working and they wanted crisp and they wanted it to be precise and there wasn't enough acid, and it was missing the unctuousness. Meat friends, what does that mean? What's unctuous?
Like umami.
Yeah.
Like it needed to have like when you have the
Cool.
skin and the fat like grilled like against the the mussel, you're gonna get kind of like this umami flavor like throughout. And
Right,
it was more like
really
steamed.
crisp, not like
I get like the
flaccid
chicken,
and
the
Yeah.
good kind of chicken.
Flaccid. This thing's flaccid.
It's like a meat happy place.
She went home for flaccid duck, everyone.
you don't care.
Gregory made, okay, am I dumb? I thought literally his dish was rice.
I mean,
It could have been,
yeah.
but he chose to like take over some soup section as well, which I didn't understand.
It was also like, it was like 3 soups in a row.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be soup.
I know.
Hers was not supposed to be soupy.
When the Olympians
his
started
was
calling
not
it
supposed to
soup,
be
I was
soupy.
like, she's boned.
Only
Because
Malarkey followed
she's
directions
neck
and made
boned.
soup.
I know.
This is like the opposite of last week, because last week they were like, why didn't I get any eggs? And now they're like, oh, it's
we're
great.
like, why didn't we get any eggs? It's effing brunch. Okay. Gregory, not enough flavor. And Greggy, he's a perfect. So he and Melissa are the best chefs because they are the two most perfectionists. And when he knew, like when he was like, I'm not going home for raw fish, it was like the most expressive he's ever been. So when he was like, I didn't salt it enough, it was like defeat city.
Yeah.
Also, sprinkle some salt on the top on the way out. What are you doing? Like, I know that's not what you do.
It doesn't work that
It
way.
won't work. It
He
wouldn't work
already
at
had
all.
the salted daikon. It wasn't enough. He was hoping that would cover up the lack of
Crumble up
salt,
some
but he couldn't
seaweed.
go.
Yeah.
It was a bad scene.
Hope's died pretty fast on this show.
The fact of the matter is, it was still good. They still actually liked it.
I do think that was, and look, let me ask you guys. Obviously, you have to misdirect and edit sometimes too, and you have to get way more comments and actually make it so that you have some kind of control. Obviously, they still have to be based in reality, but yeah, you can play up a moment where you have every chef is second guessing their dish, so you're going to have those bites, and then you have the judges being like, "This is good. I wish it had a little more salt," and you just use
I mean,
a little more salt.
In retrospect, with all the other failure, like like under seasoning, like salt is such a subjective.
Right.
It actually, you know, every show has its own edicts for like how much they're gonna breadcrumb through to the surprise, or
give you a trail as a viewer to follow to what the reveal is.
Because sometimes they want it to be the misdirect versus like
it's like a formula.
They want the viewer to be part of this ride and have a sense of control.
Right.
You know, and so like it is the executive producer who kind of has like that style stamp on it.
Okay.
I think for this show, obviously they want to have those few bites to let you know what's going on, but I don't know. It seemed
slightly stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some points.
Well, I mean, look, there was 4 people on the bottom this week, which doesn't usually happen. There was no middle. Like, I thought there'd be a middle. There was no middle. Middletown was 0 people. And usually with 6, there's still a middle. It's 2, maybe 3, 1, and some other, like, it was like that. So that was that was a move. Or it's just a move.
But I think that was also the design of the challenge, because it was such a, like, this style of cooking has to be very precise.
Right, there is no middle in this style of cooking.
There was going to be more losers. I think it was designed to create more losers than winners.
Completely.
You know, we're getting to the, the end of the road. So you have to like, you think you're good, you're not that good.
Yeah, this challenge and to people who have never even been on the show before will be freaking brutal. It will be brutal.
Just go back to my previous point. Gregory got sent home for rice. Had he practiced that rice, he would be world class. He didn't have the benefit of practicing for 30 years.
Right. And then the last dish, which brings us right into the winner, is, I mean, you can count probably on this many fingers how many times a dessert has won. And this is a whole thing on Top Chef, where a dessert, it's very rare.
Sends people home.
Dessert send people home way more than that dish will win, which isn't a dig or a knock on the rest of the dishes, but like, from my seat, those lemons look real sloppy. They didn't look good.
I would have given Gregory the dessert. I don't know why she gave Stephanie the dessert, actually.
That's interesting.
That would have actually hurt. That was actually a bone
Maybe
to
she
Stephanie,
threw her a bone because
potentially,
she was like, I don't know.
and also
that was weird.
benefited Gregory in that he didn't have to do it, so that she could have swapped that.
Oh, interesting. I thought the Gregory thing was nephew. So Stephanie made panna cotta with yuzu curd and orange granita. I mean, I'll eat that. Give it to me. When I was in preschool, I had my first birthday party, and my mom made oranges with orange sherbet in them, but she left them in the freezer too long. So there's a video of my 4th birthday party, and it's a bunch of girls sitting around a table with plastic spoons and these frozen solid orange sherbets, and everyone's just hammering away at the sherbet trying to eat it. My mom's like in the corner being pissed, and we're like, it's good. We can't get into it. This was like the opposite because it was like maybe like it was interesting because it was the second panna cotta of the episode.
Right.
Yes.
The person who made the shitty one went home. But we also wanted to talk about a very quick about that segment when all the Olympians kept talking about looking forward to going to Tokyo. About that.
Yeah.
So
Okay, we have to rush to the ending because we have to get our Last Chance Kitchen people in. So the dangerous dessert course, elimination times. Top group, our girl Stephanie with the lemons. Give her the gold medal. Delicious. And then are we surprised by Voltaggio winning the silver medal? No.
No, not at all. I mean, Stephanie was the surprise of the episode.
And Voltaggio found the loopholes in finding something that was true enough to the challenge.
Right.
Because again, he does his own thing. If he
But
likes
this
the
is
challenge,
perfect for
he
him.
sticks to it. If not, he just makes other crews food. He's very technically sound, and that's his advantage here.
Yeah.
Is he doesn't always follow the challenge, but he is very, very technically sound.
Bottom group, Karen, Gregory,
Great
Melissa,
technique.
Malarkey. The loser was Karen. I'm sad for her. I love her. I'm glad for us because she's not on our fantasy team. But you know what? She has chances in Last Chance Kitchen, but we're going to get into that with the Last Chance Kitchen people. The real loser, the Olympics and America and the world.
Yeah.
That's the real loser of this episode.
Yeah. We were watching the whole episode and then like, we're going. And like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Stephanie's like, I won. No, you didn't really.
In your heart, maybe she'll get to go next year.
I was thinking, do they just still let her go to Tokyo? I don't know. Just give her a ticket. She has a nice husband. Let them go to Tokyo.
Yes.
Hasn't she not gone?
She
That's
has
correct.
not
She
gone.
wants to go.
Oh,
Let
this
her
is
go.
great.
But let her go when she chooses to go and everything.
The producers
okay,
of the
don't
show
send
are
her
watching,
now.
which is like 50-50.
We can call Bravo
Yeah,
and
we'll let them know.
Magical
Just send
Elves
her.
and just put some words out. You guys,
Private plane to Tokyo.
the competition is now very fierce because
Yeah.
you have 2 players, we have 3. It's getting really down to the wire. I guess 4 people are going to the finals, we think. So it's going to be
wow,
intense.
really?
And
And
as
the
far as
Last Chance Kitchen
There's
person.
only 3 episodes left.
prize, we think that it should just be we have to postmate or caviar, whatever, the winner's Top Chef food from their city for a dinner.
Oh, that's very sweet. I like that.
I like that.
Don't worry, you'll be doing it first when we win.
I'll
Thank
let
you,
you know.
Ren. Okay, we're gonna say
We're gonna serve
goodbye.
you sour grapes.
We're saying
Sour
goodbye to
grapes.
Katie and Alden. We're saying hello to our Last Chance correspondents. We love you. We love you. We
Love you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. We're gonna
Bye.
into look. The end of this episode was crazy. It was Bonkers Town. Stephanie won, and it was Bonkers Town that Karen left. But Karen is no stranger to Last Chance Kitchen. Okay, what did you say, Noelia and Mark? That Karen is a stranger to Last Chance Kitchen, or what's happening? Old timey.
Bye.
That was amazing. It was like being there. Hi guys, welcome to rushing through the end of the show because we talked too much. Guys, Last Chance Kitchen.
The worst possible week.
We were going to
So
bring you
much
on
to
to
talk
talk about
about.
last week's Last Chance Kitchen and this week's, but I feel like we have to just skate through last week's to get to this week's because we don't know what they're doing. What are they doing here? What's happening? Like,
There's 40 minutes of content.
what's going on?
The whole episode was 44 minutes.
Hit us with the
Yeah.
hot takes of what do you think about the structure of what's going on? Did you expect this to be the last episode of Last Chance Kitchen?
I mean, I had a feeling they were going to throw in, some twists and turns at the end. I feel like they're trying to make Last Chance Kitchen
Okay.
a
Like
little
that.
more interesting,
Yeah.
which is great. So this time around, as we all know, Karen left because of her sad duck
Again.
game challenge.
Do you agree that this was too ambitious to cook the duck? Like do any other protein? What are you doing up in there?
If you need to do it perfect, duck is not the way to go.
Yeah, like why didn't she do like pork or beef moment? I don't know. I
You
think
guys love meat. I don't know why. I just thought she had duck. I don't know. They didn't even go to Whole Foods. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah, that's true. I feel Karen, I'm on her team this season. She's just had such an insane ride and she's just
Power
like,
lifter. Don't F with her.
oh my God, I love that segment. That was amazing.
What? She is a Russian power lifter.
Yeah. Don't F with Karen.
Yeah.
So it's her against Kevin, who is the reigning Last Chance Kitchen king.
Can you give us the one-liner because we missed because just life? Did he slaughter Leanne? Like we literally didn't even watch that one. What happened with Leanne?
He did not. So it was a egg episode, which was really exciting because
Oh,
No one did
vindication! I need to watch this just for my own personal edification.
three kinds of eggs, which was just
She has a brunch episode. She has a brunch restaurant. in
Yeah.
Nevada.
Well, it was really funny because when she came on, Tom was explaining that she went out on a brunch challenge, and Kevin was like, oh, I hate brunch. And I was like, okay, dude, well, this is
Okay,
what
well,
In
first of
fairness,
all,
he makes a lot of brunch food.
calm down.
But
Yeah.
I guess
All her
what he
desserts
is-
could be in brunch. Second of all, I just realized I might be in clips if they show her going out. Oh, gotta watch this episode. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, you do. So they had to make three perfect, a perfect fried egg, perfect omelet, and perfect hollandaise.
That's really, ooh,
hmm
brutal.
We can do a perfect omelet.
You can do a perfect omelet. I can eat your perfect omelet. Go on.
I love to watch people do that. Like that, Leanne was saying that like the
That is
perfect
the tell.
chicken egg. Yeah, it's a great tell of like a good chef, which is fun to watch. And they
Pretty
both did
YouTube now,
really,
I think.
they both did really well, I think.
Oh, so this was a very close decision. This was not a slaughter by any means. That's why she looked so effing sour when they showed the peanut gallery. She legit.
Oh yeah. Well, she also like sliced her finger open while she was cooking the hollandaise. And like Tom was at her station and she sliced her finger and she was like, medic, Band-Aid, medic. We were like, why are you yelling at Tom to get you a Band-Aid? Like, what are you doing?
Oh, you guys,
She's got bad juju.
she is the
Yeah.
Murphy's Law of Top Chef.
She's a what?
Top. She's Murphy's Law of Top Chef. Mom almost crumps. Has a baby on the mountain. Like, no more for you. Stop coming back to the show.
I know.
No.
And she's always so sweaty and tired. Like,
Chill.
it's time to go.
My God. Okay. So
It came down to like the hollandaise sauce, I think. Tom just preferred.
oh, really?
Yeah, but it was really close.
Was she just bleeding and salty when she left?
Yeah, pretty much. But you know, it was
It
time.
had that earthy flavor.
There is no world where Kevin's not beating her, though, even with the brunch challenge. I don't know.
No, definitely not. He's a beast.
If
He's
we
a
have time, we
beast.
can talk about my theories about Top Chef Kitchen, but I don't think we do.
Well, we got to rush a little
Yeah.
bit. So, did you expect a 40-minute two-part involving the chefs on the show? You know, we have 6 chefs left, or we did 5. Last Chance Kitchen, or what is going on? What were the thoughts there?
It was intense. They essentially created a tournament in Last Chance Kitchen. Brought back so basically Keven beats Karen and then Tom tells Keven that not so fast, you don't get back in the competition. Do you want to see your challengers? And in walk the
Everybody.
Top Chef. Yeah.
Did you think he was going to beat Karen? Those dishes looked good. I would have eaten the shizzle out of both of
yeah.
them.
I thought it was anyone's game, the tea thing.
Yeah, I think the tiebreaker is that Kevin's probably the better chef and the producers want him back more.
Well, yes, but they can't actually make Tom make that decision.
No, but he gets that too. He's a very smart man
He's the producer as well.
and the producer of the show. He gets it.
Yeah.
I mean, yikes. She was pissed. She
She
was
was-
out of gas.
I also think she was ready to go. Don't you?
She lost the fire in the end.
She was mentally and physically spent.
Yeah, for sure.
But
It
she had a fresh pink dye job, so I think there was at least a couple days off in between the last one.
Her
Tokyo
pink
Times
was
to her.
popping.
Yeah, much
Yeah.
more fresh than in the Sad Duck episode.
I know that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she gave herself a moment to like zhuzh up and get back into it.
I understand.
In the end, the tea challenge went to Keven.
It's
And
murky.
what?
The flavors were murky, but like Keven made
doesn't excite me.
hibiscus, like it was you know you could see the tea basically.
Yeah, I was sort of just like a little snoozeville on the challenge, just because like I don't know, cooking with tea to me it's not really that.
Yeah.
exciting, honestly.
And like from a producing standpoint, as someone who makes content too, you know that like they are picking these a little bit on the fly, like based on the challenge and how they went out. But like they should have done a duck one or something. I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess that was cool to do a table of tea.
Yeah, that was cool.
Fine. Okay. So when they roll in with the other judges or the other contestants, chef contestants, what did you think about? Obviously, the tournament is him picking. You think the 3 losers, just to be like, let me just barrel through you and come back in. And who did he end up picking to compete against, and why?
I thought he was gonna just go straight up. Okay, Stephanie, let's go.
Yes.
Right.
Malarkey, Stephanie, and who's like the next one you think?
Voltaggio.
Voltaggio.
Who ended
No,
up
but they're
with,
Broheims. Like I wouldn't have
Well,
guessed
then-
even that you'd pick him.
All right, well then you end up with Gregory.
Oh yeah, you're right. So you pick Malarkey, Stephanie, and Voltaggio.
Yeah, the Malarkey. It was funny with Malarkey. Malarkey was like, "Yeah, I'm a wild card. I know. It's fine. Like, I get it. Let's do this. Let's have some fun."
Wild card, sure.
And they had to make risotto,
Yeah.
which is, as everyone knows, the potential
Many times.
death of
Yeah.
many a Top Chef contestant.
Yeah.
And as suspected, Malarkey blew that.
He definitely has ADD.
And yet gets to stay in the show. So did you think for a
Started-
second, like we did, that was going to be
Started-
one of them going out to trade places?
What's that?
Did you think for a second that it was going to be one of them trading their spot to Keven?
Yes, and I was nervous.
That would have been another reason to quit the show.
Dave is very hot on
Yeah.
quitting the show at any time. And at the drop of a hat, he's like, "We're not going to do the podcast.
there's
We're
just-
not doing it."
There's just boundaries. There's red lines that you can't cross. You can't take
Right.
someone out in the slide competition.
Can't
That's
you
insane.
go? Can't you?
No, that's insane.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
well, yeah.
Okay. So he blazes through Malarkey, and then I'm waiting for him to pick Stephanie.
Still doesn't, and she's sitting there like, oh God, I know
She's
he's
like
already
standing
picked.
up.
How about me? I'm second to worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he picks Voltaggio because I guess they have like a previous rivalry from their
Okay.
season.
Okay.
I
But do you
guess.
think it was because he's like, I beat Malarkey, I will now lose to Voltaggio and then save Stephanie?
No, I think he said like
Go for the kill.
that there was like some previous, he and
He-
Brian had like some friendly competition or something from a previous season, I think.
Strange. Kind of
Um,
D-swinging,
was-
I don't understand.
and they had to make funky soups, which was really exciting.
That
I
is
was
that is a good challenge.
I agree.
Yeah, when they busted out like the funky ingredients, I was like, oh, like
In fairness, Kevin's was
Her
much,
lady
much
likes-
funkier and not basis saloni.
No.
If they were both good, he should have won.
I
And
forgot
they were.
what Voltaggio's was.
He did like
Kevin's
the
was so
curry,
funky.
delicata
Oh,
squash,
curry's
which
not
is
funky,
not that
bro.
funky.
Blue
Yeah.
cheese and a
Cheese,
kale
that's
soup.
funky.
What are you even doing with your life?
he put some anchovy oil on top.
That was his. Yeah, that was his like out.
You know,
he's
when you're on
always
a
finding-
cruise, you don't want anything to get too funky.
He's always
when
trying to
you're making
find
the cruise.
loopholes though. He doesn't get
And
it.
Brian just dumped every funky ingredient that he found into. Who's Brian? Kevin?
Well, I forgot to say shade in the actual episode. What about when Malarkey called Brian Voltaggio Michael just to get in his head, just to F with him? And then
I don't remember that. He
Oh,
did
yeah,
that?
it happened, and he was like, "What?" Oh, it wasn't Mega Shopping. They did go to Whole
Yeah, they
Foods. They
did,
blocked
very
it
Well,
out.
that'll do it. That'll definitely do it.
Right. Mark, if you had to eat one of those soups under duress, which one would you have eaten?
The one that didn't have cheese in it, probably.
Correct. I don't want cheese soup either, and I like cheese.
Have you had French onion soup?
Do you want blue cheese in
Do
a
you want it
kale
again?
soup? I don't.
Yeah, that thing he put together was. I
It's not
would've-
even called a soup.
yeah, I'd be curious to get a whiff of it and
Yeah.
sample, but eat it. Yeah, the other one was.
A hard
Yeah.
pass on the eating it. Are you a curry person? Do you like curry?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not Steph Curry, the soup. Okay. And are we surprised by the winner of this challenge then?
That it was Voltaggio.
Yeah. Tom
I-
does not like curry. I think if Kevin's soup was disgusting.
I think Kevin just went one step too far.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
Tom does not
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think he
Plus,
needs
from a
something-
TV standpoint, there's no way that they would have let him win after two.
Also, did you see when Tom said, "Did you just put all of this in?" and like gestured to all of his weird stuff?
Right. He
I'm like, that's all you
disrespected the
need to know.
game.
Yeah,
He disrespected the game,
Yeah.
and Colicchio didn't like it.
correct.
Yeah.
Dad
Yeah.
Tom runs a tight ship. And then we go to when he should have picked Stephanie.
Yeah. And he asked who wants to volunteer, which was so fun. I love that.
What was it? Was he just like letting around? Was that the producers making
I
him?
wonder if he like didn't want to make anyone feel bad or what.
Like the trouncing?
It's unclear to me why he did that.
This
Yeah.
Last Chance Kitchen felt the most suspect to me in terms of the invisible
Producerial.
hand of the
Yeah,
producers.
that's what I was.
It
that's
just
what
didn't
I'm
feel genuine to me. And
Our number one fan is obsessed with stinky soup and just said stinky soup's noms. Your domains, you're a number one.
I agree with you. Mirror.
Oh, this guy loves stinky soups. It's true. Yikes. Okay, so he asked for volunteers, and who did he get?
So, it was more like no one was saying anything, and maybe that was like
volunteer.
an edit. Well, it was just quiet, and then Gregory was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess I'll do it. I'll do it, guys."
Because
Here
he's
we
safe. And then what was Kevin? What do you think was the exact, like, who did Kevin think was going to volunteer? Not Melissa.
hard to say.
go. I don't know.
I don't know that he
Come
really
on.
gamed
I'm with you, Mark. This is
too far
fishy.
at it.
Yeah,
And then what
but
was their
that kind of sort of felt like it kind of felt like exciting. So I was like, "Does anyone know what's going on right now?" You know, and that's
Producers, camera guys.
kind of fun. Yeah. So then they have to. So Tom chooses fruits and nuts and the dough. So they both decide to make a dessert. And Gregory makes these like really fun sounding rice balls, boiled rice balls, and a
Yeah.
fruit salad with some nitrogened berries which I actually thought looked delicious.
Cold coconut milk fruit soup with
Mhm.
rice dumplings. I'm here for the dumplings.
I'm happy to be adventurous with my savory courses, but for dessert, I want something that's straightforward,
I want a
tried and true.
pear
I
and
don't wanna
walnut
mess around.
cobbler.
The cobbler.
Straight up mascarpone business. They looked messy, but I would eat them.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat Kevin in like comfort food, Southern desserts, the end forever.
Well, they were
Yeah.
both making comfort food.
So going into this, well, so obviously Kevin won, but Gregory doesn't care. Going into, you get to pick 3 people, go head to head, and you're coming back if you win. What's your over under on, like, did you assume Kevin was going to win?
Kind of.
Right?
Yeah. He's just like been killing it. Like
Yeah.
he,
Mark is like
he's
not
great.
sold.
It just felt like the more logical plot point.
Right, which is why I would have
critique
bet
over
even
here.
more strongly that he was going to come back. Is that the idea of Lance Chef's Kitchen is getting to return to the competition.
Right.
They were not going to not have him come back.
Okay, so what we understand is there's 3 episodes left. There is Michael's in Santa Monica, so there's one more California episode. There's now 6 chefs again.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Then there's Luca and Parma, which are the finales. So we need to go from 6 to 1 in 3 episodes, which if we're going to game this out is someone's going home next week. Could 2 people be going home next week?
Yeah.
You think there's going to be a quick fire? We don't want to fly you all to Italy. You got to
I can
go.
afford to
I
take
can
all of you to Italy.
We're beating a pandemic. We can't pay for you all.
Right.
So you think
All right.
we
We
need
gotta
to-
get in and
Wolves are
out.
at the door, people.
so you think 2 people might go, so that means the 4 go to Italy, but you still have that one that crumps right before the finale where they always just like, thanks for coming. You get to cook the quick fire and you're not going to actually be in the finale. And then there's 3.
Yeah, and they've
When
done
is
2 and 3
Malarkey
in
going home?
those.
Next time? Is it just
That's
me?
the number one question to wrap things up.
Yeah.
How do we get rid of Malarkey?
They
Got
can't, he's not going to Italy.
They can't fly that guy overseas.
Do you think maybe he'll quit just to save Gregory? Thanks, America. I mean, he's
Yeah.
got to make some kind of street tacos for the San Diego people. They need him.
They
I
miss it.
think-
There's 22 restaurants.
Isn't Malarkey Latin for a whale's vagina?
I believe that's San Diego.
Oh, right. You
Uh,
guys, here's the deal. Because it's going to get hairy and there is no more Last Chance Kitchen, we still need you back to actually talk about Real Time's Kitchen probably very soon, especially when we get to Italy, because I know how you feel about Italian meats and all meats, Noelia. So
And they get to talk to Dario Cecchini. Is that his last name? The
who in this panel has personal experience with?
Dario?
Yeah,
You do?
No, you do. I thought he was at Daphne's wedding.
He was. Well, I was in Rome actually when they were at Dario's.
Oh, excuse
But
me.
I was being a correspondent. I literally thought this was the
This
perfect
is
setup
why
because
we
you
had
freaking
you
know
here.
this guy. Okay, well, you're gonna need to call Daphne and tell her I need her on the show.
I know him from my dreams.
Actually, that's a great idea. Can Daphne be on the show? We'll figure this out.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
guys, let's just quick shout out, subscribe to our channel, give us 5 stars, thumbs up, give us 5 thumbs up, give us 5 stars. We love you all. We love you, number 1 fan, Mira Domains, and we can't wait to see you all next week. That's a
See,
wrap.
Things are really heating up. would you
Things are
say?
just click it up all the way to high. Peace.
Sizzling. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.